Welcome back to Northwest Car Care in Marymore Park and the famous Marymore windmill behind me. Now, if you've been out of town a while, technology's come a long way. Windmills, long since gone. The name of the game now is electricity. With that in mind, here's a few things you can do yourself to make sure your car's electrical system is working properly. When you get in your car and turn the key, you expect it to start. But what if it doesn't?
The first thing to check out is the battery terminals. That's usually the biggest problem area, especially in our climate, because it's the water that begins a process of electrolysis when it gets in around the battery terminals and causes corrosion.
And corrosion is not a good conductor for electricity. You need to have good metal-to-metal contact for a proper charge. For cleaning purposes, you'll need a wire battery brush, which will clean both the connector and the post. You could also use a battery cleaner. And by spraying it on the corroded post, it will neutralize the acid so the acid won't eat holes in your clothes. And after you've neutralized it, use a paper towel to clean off the area. Once you've removed the terminal, it's time to use your wire brush. Simply insert it through the connector and turn several times to clean. And it should be somewhat shiny when you're finished. To clean the post, use the other end of the wire brush by fitting it over the post and turning again. And now you can reconnect the terminal and repeat the process on the other side. Now, if you don't notice any corrosion and you still have problems starting your car, an analog voltmeter could help you locate the problem.
Okay, what we're showing you right now is a voltage measurement with each of the voltmeter's probes in the center of the battery post, and that's going to measure the exact battery voltage. You need to make sure that you're really pressing hard with the probes into the posts, because sometimes you get corrosion on there and you don't get a good electrical contact.
A well-charged battery should read between 12 and 13.5 volts with the engine off and 14 to 15 volts with the engine running. And by moving the probe, you can also check the terminal and cable for corrosion.
Then we'll move the positive probe onto the terminal clamp here to check for any voltage drop due to corrosion around the battery post. The next thing you want to do is do the same thing with the negative post, move it over here and see if there's any change in voltage which would indicate a voltage drop due to corrosion around the negative post. Then the next step after that is to move the post, and sometimes you can get these worked in through the insulation in the cable. Sometimes in very rare cases you'll find that there's corrosion inside where the cable is welded or crimped inside the battery terminal. And you want to check the voltage there again and see if there's any significant change. Then you want to move the negative probe to a good ground on the body of the car, such as the housing of this relay. There should be no change in the battery voltage at all these different positions.
Checking your battery fluid is another